Mega Audino. Did you know this thing got a Mega Evolution? Be honest. I don't know, but we are going to be trying out an interesting Mega Audino team that was able to do really well in the high ladder of Pokemon Champions, and we're going to be trying out and seeing how well it can perform. This is a very interesting Mega Audino Snorlax team. We're going to be going over the individual members, and then we'll also be going over how the team functions, and then finally we're going to be showcasing the team and playing some games. Let's get started and break it down. So first Pokemon up is going to be the Mega Audino. When it Mega Evolves, it does gain access to the Fairy type, so it will be a normal Fairy type, and it has a really incredible amount of bulk. And as you can see here, we're fully invested into it. We're going with maximum HP here and a lot of defense because there are a lot of physical attackers in this format. Think of Basculegion, think of King Gambit, think of Sneasler, all of these heavy threats that of course Audino wants to be able to take the attacks from, so we're going to maximize its physical defense. We're still going to have a bit of special attack investment because let me just say that this thing's Dazzling Gleams are not doing that much damage even after a few Calm Mind boosts, so we kind of need some help in order to maximize the damage output. So we need quite a bit of special attack to actually do any damage. The rest is going to go into Spadaf just a little bit, and again we're going to be mainly trying to use this Mon as a setup Mon and support with Trick Room and Life Dew, and in the positions where we can use those Calm Minds to be able to take the attacks a bit easier, especially from the special side, and boost up our special attack. So Dazzling Gleam is going to do a bit of damage. It's going to be nice. In some cases, of course, Regenerate is going to be the best ability because there are going to be times where we don't want the Fairy typing, so we won't Mega Evolve, and then we will be able to switch out the Audino to gain back some recovery, which can be nice in some certain situations. And when we Mega Evolve, we'll get access to Healer, which will of course give us a chance to actually go for the healing of the statuses on our allies. If it's super conditional, it can be like used against the Scovillain, which let me just say during the video, I did forget about the Scovillain and the Audino interaction because I always just don't remember this thing gets an ability. Like legitimately, I just don't remember. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Thick Fat Leftover Snorlax, and this set is always really hard to be able to knock out. We have a really bulky, physically defensive Snorlax because Snorlax still doesn't have the best defense stat in the world. It has really good HP and special defense already and solid attack. However, its physical defense initially isn't that great. Of course, we are using Curse to boost up our attack and defense at the cost of -1 speed per single use. And yeah, we are still going to want to invest in defense because even with +1 or +2, it's still actually taking a decent amount from those physical attacks, and especially when there are Pokemon, again, like Low Kick, King Gambit, Close Combat, Sneasler, you kind of want as much physical defense as you can possibly manage. So we're going to maximize the defense, especially because it'll take advantage of the +1 or +2 curse boost, so we can get as much stat points as possible in the defense so we can take the attacks a bit better. The HP investment, we have a number divisible by 16, so we can get the maximum amount of leftovers recovery from possible. And then the rest is going to go into special defense because we're going to be relying on Curse in order to set up the Snorlax's attack damage output. And we're going to be running Double Edge, which is the strongest normal type move. You might be thinking it's a bit counterintuitive to run a Double Edge over like Body Slam because we're taking recoil, but you kind of want to be able to do damage with the Double Edge even after one Curse or two, because otherwise it can be really hard to be able to pick up knockouts, and of course you are leaving more things in RNG's favor to potentially like crit you out, for example. So you do want the actual damage output, and of course you do have recovery with the Life Dew on the Mega Audino. Thick Fat is just such a great ability on the Snorlax, just being able to reduce the damage output from the ice and fire type moves onto the Snorlax by half, which is solid. High horsepower is going to be great to be able to hit the steel types, the rock types, anything that basically resists Double Edge for the most part, and then protects to make sure that Snorlax is safe for a turn and maybe stall out for some leftovers recovery if needed. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Focus Sash Alolan Ninetales, allowing it to survive any one really big hit and then just set up that Aurora Veil, which is solid because you want to be able to tank the attacks even further, so you can set up Calm Minds or the curses with the Snorlax and the Audino. So we have a pretty bulky Alolan Ninetales. We have max speed because you want to be able to outspeed like those base 100s and get that Aurora Veil up before anyone gets to attack. And then Actually, we're going to be maximizing the HP over any special attack, and mainly because you want the Ninetales to maybe live some potential double ups that could happen, so you can again ensure potential Aurora Veil, which would be nice. It's not really the best damage dealer, and the Blizzard's already hitting like the 4x mons like the Garchomp pretty well, and then you have Psyshock, which is for the 4x into Sneasler, which is a funny tech, I'll just say. Aurora Veil, of course, when the snow is active, you do get a Light Screen Reflect in 1, and then Protect, of course, to keep itself around. The ability going to be the Snow Warning, of course, going to be useful for that Aurora Veil, but also against opposing weather like rain and sun, which can be a little bit annoying because their damage output is actually quite concerning to the team. But this Ninetales, again, screen's going to be nice for Snorlax and Audino, two already bulky Pokemon. Really hard to knock them out already, but with Aurora Veil, even harder to stop. Then next Pokemon we have on this team is going to be a Sneasler with the Wider Classic with the Unburden, which means that if the Sneasler consumes the item, it will get a double speed boost, and with the Wider, of course, being able to help out because it will negate any Intimidates as well as its own defense draws from close combat, so you could activate that Wider Unburden combo. Dire Claw close combat, really strong attacks across the board, Protect to keep itself around, and then Coaching, which is pretty interesting. No fake out on the Sneasler, but the Coaching is useful for potential attack and defense boost on the Snorlax, so you can set it up for like +2 immediately. And also it can be used for Audino because a +1 defense Audino, and then you can call Mine. Yeah, it's actually really hard to break through that Audino if it does have a Coaching boost. So Coaching going to be the kind of unique thing about the Sneasler onto the Mega Audino and the Snorlax to give it an already an attack and defense boost, or just pass on the defense boost to Audino and allow it to be able to tank attacks even better. The EV spread on this Sneasler, max attack so it can threaten the King Gambits and any other Pokemon, has a little bit of speed. It's going to be able to outspeed the Adamant Garchomps in the format, and then the rest is going to go into bulk because you do have Aurora Veil on this team, so you don't have to be max speed in a lot of cases, and with the HP investment you can still easily live stuff like Heat Wave from Charizard and more, so he'll be able to tank attacks, or at least one attack sometimes, and then like fire off a Coaching or a good hit with close combat Dire Claw, especially like those steel types that again can be a bit annoying to this team, which is pretty good. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Como, which is going to be solid, especially into the core of like the Sneasler, Basculegions, and the King Gambits. We have that option with the soundproof Citrus Berry Como because we already have leftovers on the Snorlax. We need another item. Recovery is still pretty nice when you're using Clangrisol, so the Citrus Berry is going to be the tech here. We have soundproof as the ability to make sure it is immune to any sound moves like the Hyper Voices from Gardevoir, Sylveon, Primarina, Parting Shot from the Incineroar, and a few others like Perish Song. We have the investment here, which is quite interesting. This is going to be the 134 speed as the stat on the Como, and this allows it to be able to outspeed the base 130s with maximum speed. Think of like Mega Gengar and regular Aerodactyl. And then we have a good amount of HP, and then the jump point into the special attack investment, so the Clanging Scales are doing a good amount of damage. We have Clanging Scales, of course, spread dragon type move that lowers the defense on Como. We have Clangrisol that boosts the stats by 1, except that it costs 33% of the Como's current HP, and then, or max HP, and then Drain Punch, which is actually kind of interesting because normally we see Aura Spear and it's actually a physical attack, but the reason is so you can get some recovery if you need to. Think about the King Gambits, the Incineroars, and more. So you actually do have recovery on this team in case, because you don't have that longevity with the leftovers like you would normally. So having access to Drain Punch recovery can be nice in some really long games. So next Pokemon we have is going to be Aegislash, and I think Aegislash mainly because of the fact that it is good in the Sneasler, which this team, it has some text for Sneasler, but it's still a little bit rough to switch into, so having an option to be able to like just wall Sneasler, because Aegislash is one of the best Sneasler answers because it's immune to Dire Claw and Close Combat, which are its main attacking moves, is really helpful. Poltergeist plus Shadow Sneak is super threatening into that combination. The spell tag Aegislash just allows it to really get the knockouts, even into some of the bulky Sneasers, which is nice. You have access to that Sacred Sword to be able to hit the King Gambits, the Incineroars, and more. And then, of course, King Shield to transform it back into its defensive stance change. And its stance change, of course, is an ability which Aegislash changes into form, has a Blade form, which does more attack but has lower defense, and then the Shield form, which has higher defense but lower attack, which is important. This is just going to be a pretty simple, just max HP, max attack, Aegis Slash with a little bit remainder into special defense, and you're really just supposed to be hitting hard with Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, and Sacred Sword, which the priority is nice. You do have a mon that actually does do damage on this team initially, so it is a very helpful change when we were playing super defensive. So how to use the team? Well, a lot of it is mainly just trying to set up going to be one of either Snorlax, Como, Audino, or all three of them potentially in a single game. You have tools like the Auroraville on the Ninetales, so your Audino and your Snorlax are taking a lot less damage. You have access to the Curse, Calm Mind, and Clanger Soul, all moves that are able to boost your stats so you can actually take attacks and dish out a good amount of damage. Those are probably going to be the main ways of utilizing this kind of team, is going to be through those methods. You have quite a few leads. With all the Weather Wars out there, Ninetales is probably going to be kept in the back just to shut down any opposing weathers, reduce the damage from Charizard Y heat waves, as well as like shut down the rain so Basket Legion or Chaldon doesn't get to spam Electric Shot and more. But otherwise, if you can lead Ninetales against no weather teams, Auroraville is pretty nice as a start off lead. But I'd say a lot of the time you are going to be probably leading Audino generally because you want to try and get Trick Room up, so you can maybe set up with like Curse and Calm Mind and then just be able to dish out a ton of damage. Otherwise, you do have the Sneasler that can lead as well, that could go for like a coaching immediately, like a Sneasler plus an Audino combination where you go for the coaching so you get the defense boost on the Audino, or you just go for a bunch of damage and then sack the Sneasler so you can then bring out like the Snorlax under Trick Room, for instance. Or you could also lead the Sneasler plus the Snorlax to go for the coaching plus curse combination on the Snorlax to get an instant defense boost on the Snorlax so it's able to take attacks, then bring out the Audino and set up Trick Room afterward. Yeah, you have quite a few different methods, and then like maybe something like Como can also just lead next to Ninetales with Auroraville, or maybe this Sneasler if it wants to go for the coaching boost. That is also a pretty efficient play. You could also lead Sneasler with coaching next to the Aegis Slash, so that attack and defense boost on the Aegis Slash can be nice. But yeah, I'd say Audino does probably want to get Trick Room up, go for the Calm Minds next to the Curse Slax, and then because you'd be able to heal with the Life Dew and with the leftovers on the Snorlax, they have to kind of respect and dish out damage, but it's actually really hard to be able to break through this combo in general. Then ideally you can maybe get another Trick Room up and then start actually dishing out a lot of damage. So there's quite a few different ways that you can play it. It's a very passive, slow team, so we'll see how well it's actually able to work because it's very slow, but we'll see how it goes. If you'd like to try out the team, there is a replica code over here, and you can check out the details of the team down below in the description as well as the creator. But otherwise, let's get started and play some games with, I don't know. All right, we have Garchomp Corviknight with the Sinistcha, Maushold, Gardevoir, and Basket Legion. So this is going to be an absolute tough one because how does this team break through Corviknight? It really does not. We're gonna have some fun times, I guess. Okay, so in order to break through Corviknight, my damage up. Oh goodness. Oh, why did this team not have like any single fire move? Like a single fire move, and even then it'd probably be like, I think Como should be flamethrower, but let's see here. So I think I go with Ninetales lead because we are able to get up Auroraville and seems pretty solid to help out. Also, unironically, is my best initial damage output in the Corviknight unless I lead Sneasler and Ninetales, which I guess is not terrible. Yeah, I guess it's not terrible if I have that combo. And then maybe bring Audino Snorlax in the back. We're going to try to brute force the Corviknight immediately because Corviknight's the biggest threat. And with getting Blizzard close combat damage is actually not the worst option if I can just trade the Corviknight for these two leads here, because that's the most difficult. And actually this is probably the best case because they lead Garchomp Corviknight. So I lead Ninetales Sneasler, and now I have access to Blizzard close combat immediately, which is pretty solid, I'd say. So I am going to go for a Blizzard immediately, no reason not to. And I think I'm going to go for just a close combat and get as much damage as I can, again, into that Corviknight. Because if a close combat into two Blizzards knocks out, that's great for me. It is Earthquake coming after the Garchomp, though. So it's Scarf Garchomp. Not that great for me. Sneasler goes down. I should have maybe considered potential Scarf Garchomp. I wasn't sure because they only had Corviknight as the ground immunity. They didn't have like a Rotom, so I wasn't sure. But Blizzard is going to come out. Take the knock on the Garchomp, decent damage to Corviknight, but yeah, maybe I could have protected turn 1. That definitely was a valid play there, but maybe it's not awful here. If it's Tailwind, if it's not, okay. Depends heavily on the Corviknight set. It's not Leftovers. That's a big item, actually. Okay. We're gonna go out into Audino here. I think the best play is not to Mega Evolve. Oh, this is going to be a bit tough. Gardevoir, okay. What are you tracing? Snow Warning, okay. They have to double up Ninetales to take the knockout. I think my best play here is just to set up an Aurora Veil with Ninetales. And I think it's just to set up the Trick Room here. And not Mega Evolve, because I'm worried about Iron Head Hyper Voice doing a bit too much if I Mega Evolve. So I'm going to just not Mega Evolve here and see if that works out. So we're going to see the Ninetales Mega Evolve, alright. As they go for... Oh, they reverse Trick Room with the Gardevoir too. Okay, that's fine by me. Did they Iron Head my Ninetales though? They did Iron Head my Ninetales. Okay, that's fine. Ninetales actually survives. Alright. As Trick Room goes up. I should save Ninetales, I think, just in case. Snorlax is pretty bulky to be able to take attacks anyway. With this Aurora Veil, we should be in an okay spot, I suppose. Yeah, and it's also nice to have like the access to regenerate it later on. So I'm bringing out Snorlax. If it's Iron Head, that means it's not bulk up, which means Snorlax could actually beat the Corviknight. So now I think we have a plan here. This is probably Hyper Voice Iron Head into Audino, I imagine. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go for Trick Room again. If they go for Trick Room plus Iron Head again, that's not like too bad for me. I think I'm still gaining a bit more ground here by forcing the Gardevoir not to Hyper Voice. And they do go for Hyper Voice, so this works out pretty well. Audino took that really well. Iron Head gonna come out into the Audino. Yeah, we're just tanking these attacks. Unlucky we flinch. Unlucky we flinch. Okay. Unlucky. Now I'm kind of curious on what they do, if they're going to spam Hyper Voice or not. But I am actually going to go for the Life Dew now because I need Snorlax decently healthy. So I'm going to heal up my Snorlax while we have these turns of Aurora Veil. Get maybe 1 or 2 curses up. They go for Psychic. Okay, Psychic Brave Bird? I don't think this KOs through Veil. Okay, we're getting really unlucky with this Audino here. Okay, they went for Iron Head. That's fine. Come on. Come on. Alright. We have a curse up with blacks. The thing is, they're just gonna go for Hyper Voice Iron Head here. Tailwind Peter's out, but it's not like that big of a deal. Oh, Audino, you are disappointing me right now. You are disappointing me right now. We're gonna go for a switch of Ninetales so we can keep the Audino. We get regenerative health so we can maybe... We have one more chance. We can get Trick Room up and Double Edge the next turn to the Gardevoir slot. As they go for Hyper Voice and Iron Head into the Snorlax. Ninetales goes down. As Iron Head comes out. This Corviknight's straight for 3, man! This Corviknight is straight for 3. You can't be serious. Audino does not tank the Brave Bird Psychic combo, but you know what? We kind of have to at this point because I don't think there's another option. We're going to go for the Double Edge into Gardevoir. We're just going to have to hope +1 knocks out the Gardevoir this time, I think. I think that's like the only hope I have here, and I'm going to try to attempt Trick Room. Maybe I should have just Mega Evolved because they might... Well, I think they could Brave Bird to KO the... Actually, no, I don't think Brave Bird would KO the Audino based on the damage prior. They go for Hyper Voice. Good. Audino should take an attack here. Iron Head again. They crit me. Let's see if this KO'd. No, not even close. Alright. Can Lax win the game? Probably not. What a great showcasing from Audino game 1. That's a Pokemon moment right there. I guess I should find out what the last Pokemon was, just because obviously there was a bunch of RNG where if we didn't get flinched twice, maybe if I made a better call and went for like a Calm Mind or Life Dew immediately, maybe it could have been something, but that is kind of ridiculous. We're gonna go for the double edge into Gardevoir. I just want to see what the last Pokemon was, because I do think that I actually had a pretty good shot against whatever's the back. Mouse hold. Yeah, I think I actually would have just won. I think I would have just won. Because unless I crit now. If I crit now, maybe? No. Okay. Because then I would be able to get like some... yeah, like if I got Trick Room up, it was just really hard for them to be able to play defensive. Even though they would sell out the Trick Room, I'd just be able to kind of pin the left slot and do a bunch of damage. If they switch out Corviknight, they're not the bulk up set, so I'm kind of walling them. I'd be able to out heal with Life Dew. Pokemon is a Pokemon game sometimes. But that is the consequence of using Trick Room. Alright, we have Charizard, Garchomp, Basculegion, Aerodactyl, Kingambit, and Sylveon. So, let's see. After that other game, I'm just really worried about getting flinched down. Getting flinched down would not be fun here. Alright. The only problem with Audino is like the fairy typing kind of works sometimes and is a detriment sometimes. I don't know if the Kingambit has Iron Head. I feel like it probably would have Iron Head on this team, but I'm not 100% certain here. What am I going? I could go Ninetales to try instead of Veil, but they probably just lead Charizard, so is that like a worth position? I think it's Sneasel Audino. I think Sneasel Audino is pretty okay here, since I'm fine with sacking Sneasel to get in Snorlax early. Yeah, I think that works. Do I go Como here, or do I go Ninetales is the question? Because I think being able to shut down the Charizard damage output is kind of nice. Although Como is really good against the Kingambit and the Sylveon if it doesn't have a Fairy type move that isn't Hyper Voice from the Pixelate ability. But I think this works out pretty alright here. Especially because like Aurora Veil is just super clutch. Like, Basculegion's really nice that I don't usually have to deal with because double normal means Last Respect isn't doing too much damage. Well, I can't hit my normal types with Last Respect, so like the water type moves aren't too crazy to deal with. Garchomp, Aerodactyl. If I led Ninetales here, it would have been insane, but this is alright here. We lead Sneasel plus the Audino, and I'm actually gonna go for... I could go for Fake Out, or not Fake Out. I could go for Protect here, but the question is, do I even want to bother protecting here? I think the answer is probably not. I think they might try to go for Rock Slide. If they go for Dual Wing Beat, that's alright. I think here I'm actually going to go for Coaching into Audino, because if I get the defense boost, it's really hard for my opponent to actually break through the Audino in general. And we're going to go for the Mega Evolution just for the general bulk here and just try to attempt Trick Room. Yeah, I think that's alright here. That is alright by me. Then next turn I could go for like Calm Mind. Ooh, it's Mega Aerodactyl. Interesting. Are they going to go for Dual Wing Beat immediately? Because if they Dual Wing Beat, that means Rock Slide's not happening, which means more of a chance Audino actually is able to get the Trick Room up. So Mega Aerodactyl coming out. And the Mega Audino. I'm going for Coaching just to get the defense boost. I don't really need the Close Combat or the Dark Claw damage immediately if I'm just able to kind of outbulk this team. So we're going to see Tail... Wait, what? Tailwind Earthquake? That's fine. Alright. Sure. Works for me. Works for me. Should I just go Snorlax or should I go Ninetales? I think I go Ninetales and click Blizzard. Yeah, I don't see a problem going Ninetales here. Or I could get Aurora Veil up. Actually, I'm going to get Aurora Veil up. I'm going to go for Aurora Veil first and Calm Mind because they might protect a stall out. I think this is just my best play. They could go Kingambit, which I think is the play I would make if I was them. Go Kingambit here. Well, it's not really like a threatening spot, but they actually go for Protect. So this is beautiful. So I do get a free Calm Mind up with my... Yeah, they're giving me free setup, so I get a free Calm Mind up, which is beautiful. I mean, to be fair, they probably just don't know what Audino does, which is absolutely fair. But yeah, now I get a Calm Mind up with the Audino. I have a special defense boost, which is nice. Actually, there's no Charizard I have to worry about. I just realized there's no Charizard. Yeah, so it has to be the Gambit, right? We are going to go for a Blizzard here, for sure. The question is, what am I doing with you? Am I clicking Dazzling Gleam, or am I going for another Calm Mind? I don't really need the extra special defense boost. It's only good for Sylveon. So I think I'm just going to get some damage off to catch maybe a Gambit. Also, Blizzard probably doesn't knock out the Aerodactyl initially. So Blizzard Dazzling Gleam is probably my best bet here anyway. King Gambit is going to come out for the Garchomp slot, which makes a ton of sense here. And Aerodactyl going to retreat as well. Probably Sylveon for the special defense. Oh, Basculegion. Okay. I'm not really too worried about Basculegion. It doesn't really do anything against my team. So Dazzling Gleam is going to come out. Not bad damage, actually. Like, that is legitimately not bad damage. And Blizzard. Solid. Okay. I can't protect the Audino. I think my best play is to switch out Ninetales because I can still preserve it to deal with the Garchomp. We know it's not Scar, so once Trick Room is over, that's actually pretty solid for me. And I could go for Calm Mind again, or I could go for Dazzling Gleam here. I think my best play is probably to go for a Calm Mind here. Yeah, because they could protect again to stall out the Trick Room and the Aurora Veil. So I am going to Calm Mind. So we'll bring out the Snorlax, which is in a pretty good spot. Like, Cursed Lax is also really hard for them to deal with at this point, so I'm looking pretty good here. Yeah, they did actually go for Protect with the King Gambit, so I can go for Curse, or I could go for the High Horsepower next turn. Basculegion didn't protect, which is not too surprising here, but the Basculegion doesn't do that much damage to me under Veil, so that's fine. They go for Liquidation. Okay, that usually means it's Focus Sash. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. Last in a Trick Room. That's acceptable. That defense shot really stinks. Do I high horsepower Dazzling Gleam here is the question. Or I feel like I really, really want to Curse up. I think I will go for the Curse here. I'm going to go for the Curse and the Dazzling Gleam. The reason is I feel like I need the defense boost on Lax. And they could switch out King Gambit. They might be fearing like any coverage that the Snorlax might have. So I could definitely see like a retreat here. But they're going to protect Basculegion. Okay. That works for me. I get a Curse up. The question is, what is the King Gambit move? Is it Low Kick for the Snorlax? Or does it have Iron Head for the Audino? They don't usually run both. As we get Dazzling Gleam off and a Curse. So we're kind of just tanking the attacks pretty well. Dazzling Gleam does a good amount. It is Low Kick, so that means it might not have Iron Head on the King Gambit, and if it doesn't have Iron Head, I don't know how you're stopping the Audino from setting up Trick Room, because you can't even flinch the Audino if you don't have Iron Head, so this might actually work out, because I didn't get the KO on King Gambit, I don't have to play Rock Slide Simulator again. So now I can go for a Curse with the Snorlax again, and just go for a Trick Room. And we still have one more turn of Veil. Liquidation is, as we saw, doesn't do too much damage. Even with the defense drop, I don't think a double up with Kowtow Liquidation would KO. So let's see. Liquidation going to come out. Yeah. Oh my goodness. What? It's 20%, isn't it? Kowtow. Please tell me it doesn't KO. Okay. 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 And we get the Curse up with Lax again. And is Basculegion in range of high horsepower? I guess that's a good question. Veil is over though. Leftovers healing the Snorlax. I think I just go for Life Dew and I go for high horsepower and I try to KO the Bass. This could be Sucker Punch attempt, which is fine, as I am just going to heal up my Audino. And if I KO the Bass, I mean, they could Aqua Jet here, which is fine, because we know the King Gambit doesn't have Iron Head, so it can't actually pressure my Ninetales. So that's all right. We're going to get a high horsepower off. Hopefully this KOs. It does KO. And now Ninetales is in a pretty good spot because the Garchomp going to be threatened by Blizzard as they go for Low Kick. Actually did a bit more damage than I thought to Lax, even after all those Curse boosts. But I guess like Lax is a heavy boy. All right, we bring out the Ninetales. I can still get Rock Slide flinch, but I mean, this is still pretty solid, I'd say. Especially if I get another Aurora Veil up. They went into Aerodactyl, which is a very surprising bring here. Okay, as I go Ninetales. My play is to always just high horsepower the Gambit slot. Or is Double Edge enough? I feel like I would probably want to Greed Recovery anyway, and I don't want to take like super big Rough Skin plus recoil if Garchomp came out. So I'm going to set up Aurora Veil with Ninetales and just go for a high horsepower. I think they're probably going to attack. Maybe I went for a Blizzard because they saw that I went for Aurora Veil the first time, but we'll see. Protect the King Gambit. Okay, they actually went for double attack. Okay, so I did get a free Aurora Veil off, which is nice. And now this turn, I can actually go for high horsepower plus Blizzard again, which is really solid. Okay, that works out. That works out pretty well for me. I'm just not confident if Double Edge KOs this King Gambit because I have no attack investment and I only have +2. So I will go for high horsepower risk here into the Gambit and Blizzard. Granted, I could also go for... Actually, no. My best play here... Well, it'd be single target Blizzard into the Arrow. Do I want to go for Double Edge into the Arrow and Blizzard? It might be my better play. I think I'll go for it. Because I think with the Double Edge into the Aerodactyl, it might be in guaranteed Blizzard range, which would be nice. They actually Sucker Punch the Snorlax too. Okay. So if I get the KO into Aerodactyl, I'm pretty sure Ninetales will just win. And look, that actually did do a lot of damage for a resisted Double Edge. So Blizzard should KO the Aerodactyl, which is really great for me. Yeah, it does a lot. And now King Gambit definitely going to be in Double Edge range. Looking solid here. Looking solid. Okay. Because we will heal with the leftovers on the Snorlax. Snorlax should be able to outwall the Garchomp at this point. Battle's going to end to a forfeit. Okay, set up the Trick Room. I don't know what they were doing with the Tailwind immediately, but you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. All right, we have the Eternal Floette, Sneasler, Mimikyu, Drampa, Charizard, and Hisuian Zoroark. What is this team? I guess dual Mega with Charizard and Drampa. They have a Trick Room mode. Wait, they have 3 potential Megas with Eternal Floette, and usually all 3 of them are Megas. I guess Drampa would be the most viable foul to Mega, but what am I looking at here? What am I looking at here? Okay. So, I don't know if they elite Charizard or not. That's a good question. I think Sneasler plus the Snorlax is, or not Sneasler plus Snorlax, Sneasler plus the Audino is generally correct. This is so weird. They also have the Hisuian Zoroark, so I have to keep that in mind as well. I don't really like Aegislash or Como in this matchup, so I think Sneasler plus the Audino is correct with Ninetales Snorlax. Get the Aurora Veil up, do the damage. I need to get rid of probably priority number 1 is going to be the Sneasler and the Eternal Flood, because those probably do the most amount of damage to my team. Those are definitely the hardest hitters that my opponent has access to. The Drampa, I'm not 100% certain. I'm not 100% certain if I need to fear it or not. I do have Mega Audino, which should be able to wall it with a Calm Mind, but you never know. This is Champions Tier. What is this crazy team I'm about to see? Charizard plus Sneasler. Okay. Where's the Sneasler plus Audino? I don't have Protect. I think my best play is just to go for a coaching into the Audino and just protect with my, or not. Oh wait, I can't even do that. Shoot. This might not be the best lead here. I might have to call Whether They Close Combat or Dire Claw immediately. Yeah, I keep forgetting this doesn't have Fake Out. I think I'm still supposed to Mega Evolve just for the general bulk. I'm gonna Dire Claw and I'm gonna Mega Evolve Trick Room. I hope I got it in. I hope I got it in on time. Alright, they Mega Evolve. It is Charizard Y on the... It is Charizard Y, so this is looking like the most standard part of the team because everything else is a bit awkward. Unless it's Sneasler Zoroark, which would be good for me actually. We did get the Mega Evolution, okay. Did we Trick Room though? Because if we click Gleam, we're in such bad position. So please tell me I got the Gleam off. Oh, it is Zoroark, okay. They went for Hyper Voice, sure. That's fine by me. I got the Dire Claw off. Good damage. Really good damage. That's frail Charizard. Yeah, that's super frail Charizard, okay. And I get the Trick Room off. Alright. So, the only weird part here is... Okay, I get to go Snorlax pretty safely. And I can curse up with the Snorlax. Because I actually don't even think the Double Edge KOs... Actually, do I think the Double Edge KOs Charizard? It is like the same type of... Actually, after that Dire Claw damage, I think the Double Edge definitely KOs the Charizard. So, I think I always aim for the KO into Charizard. And I'm going to Calm Mind. So I can take the Hyper Voice. And then Life Dew. So they give me the double edge into Charizard. One. You can't. Why did it live on one, man? Why did it live on one? No, that's so bad. Snorlax. Missed okay, missing the Audino actually saves me. I don't think I was living the Hyper Voice double up. They crit the Snorlax, okay. As long as it wasn't burned, we're fine. They go for Hyper Voice. We're tanking it. Oh my goodness. Snorlax is huge disappointment, but you know what? Double edge and we life do for the recovery. Even if they protect Charizard, we have to double edge here, and we need to heal my Audino to take the next Hyper Voice. It should be Scarf on the Hisuian Zoroark. I don't know. I feel like most of them are Scarf, but I don't know what to expect at this point from my opponent's team. What are we going to see from my opponent? Charizard switching out, or are they going to stay in? They are in range of Ninetales attack, though, so it's not like the Zard is the biggest threat anymore. Having Psyshock on my... Having Psyshock is actually pretty nice, though, on my Ninetales to deal with the Sneasler in the later parts of the game. And if they protect, that's fine. Even if they're stalling out Trick and Turns, the more recovery I'm getting, the better. I think next turn I might just go for Gleam plus the Curse if my Audino survives 2 Hyper Voices, which I think it should. Actually, it's going to be close. Hyper Voice. Okay, I do, yeah. So I think I go for Curse here because I need to start building up, I guess, the Snorlax to tank attacks. It's such a weird position. How many turns of Trick Room are left? 2, right? Yeah, 2. Okay. Or I could go for a double edge again, but they could definitely swap here into something like Mimikyu. So I think my best play is always the Dazzling Gleam Curse here. Yeah, they retreat to Charizard. This is probably Mimikyu, I imagine. Yep. So I do get to break the disguise and I get a curse off. So this is like the best play I could have made here. Solid. I do need my Snorlax decently healthy, I guess, later on. But this Dazzling Gleam will do some decent damage. That did a lot to Zoroark. That actually did do a lot of damage to Zoroark. Okay. Can I get double knockout the next turn? And then maybe Ninetales can clean up the remaining Charizard Sneasler in the back. So we know all 4 Pokemon now. Hyper Voice. Because they can't Shadow Sneak either of my Pokemon here. This might be a high horsepower angle into the Snorlax. And you know what? I think we go for... I either high horsepower Dazzling Gleam if I think that KOs Mimikyu, but it's only +1 stage of attack on the Snorlax. I think my best play is the high horsepower and gets a life dew off for healing. Yeah, I think that's probably the best. They Shadow Sneak my Audino because they don't know it's a normal type. Okay, fair. To be fair, you also just don't see Audino anymore. And it does look like a pixelate. It does look like a fairy, just a regular fairy. We do get a free life dew. That's pretty solid. Okay. Do I think they KO my... I mean, Snorlax should live a close combat. I mean, my question is, does Audino survive here? The play rough. Sneasler comes in. Unless they double up the Snorlax, is it my best play to click high horsepower into the Sneasler and probably Trick Room? Because I just don't know if this is Sash on the Sneasler. That's my big question. But I think this is my best play. Okay. They go for close combat. That makes sense. I should live. Yeah. Relax Snorlax. I might even live play rough as well on the Snorlax part. I don't know about the Audino again. It is wider on the Sneasler, so that's not surprising me. Okay. As they did go for play rough and Audino. Audino survives! It survives! And that high horsepower damage is actually kind of clutch into the Sneasler. Okay, we get Trick Room up, and now... Is this the Dazzle high horsepower moment? Because if they have Trick Room on the... Well, do I think it's Trick Room Mimikyu, I guess is the question. It should be, right? So I guess they could reverse Trick Room. Is my play to reverse Trick Room and Double Edge the Sneasler. The reason I Double Edge is to cover Charizard as well. I think it is. We're going to go for a Reverse Trick Room, and we're going to go for a Double Edge into Sneasler. Because if this Sneasler has Protect, it's going to probably Protect here, and the Mimikyu is probably going to Reverse Trick Room. And that way they could go for like a close combat play route the next turn. The play that I'm making kind of covers for this. Okay, that's step one. I could have high horsepower the Mimikyu, but this also works. I'm also getting Leftovers Recovery with Snorlax. Got him. Okay, we do reverse the Trick Room. Very good, very good. It's still not over, but this is still a very good spot. The question is, do I want a Life Dew to heal my Snorlax or no? Or do I just high horsepower Dazzling Gleam the Mimikyu? Because Trick Room Mimikyu generally runs bulk, and I still think it lives the attacks. It's also another mind game with the Audino and the Sneasler. So... or the Audino and the Mimikyu. So this is kind of an interesting turn. I think my best play is probably to go for either Curse. I think it's Curse plus Dazzling Gleam here. Yeah, I think it's Curse plus Dazzling Gleam. Let's see. They go for a double protect attempt. I did understand that. I do get a Curse up again with Snorlax. This is because if I do tank maybe potential close combats after some recovery with leftovers, like a couple turns of leftovers, that was probably my best out. I don't think high horsepower was knocking out the Mimikyu at that range at all. So I think this is working. And they did reverse Trick Room. Okay, so I could have went for a double edge reverse Trick Room again. But here's the thing. Ninetales now wins. Ninetales now wins because I can just protect Snorlax, sack my Audino, and then bring out the Ninetales. It's faster than Charizard guaranteed, so I can just click Blizzard in the end game. So, alright, we're going to protect our Snorlax, and we're going to Trick Room. Because even if, let's say they double up my Snorlax with like Weather Ball plus Play Rough, that means I get Trick Room. Realistically, they have to deny the Audino Trick Room, but even then, like Ninetales, I still think wins the game overall. I guess I could have went for Dazzling Gleam as well to get the extra damage in Mimikyu to put in range of Blizzard, but I could also win with just Snorlax if it's under Trick Room as well, because the Charizard is just so low in pin, and the Mimikyu just puts on no pressure against my team. So they go for Heat Wave. It connects on the Audino, but I did have a fast Pokemon in the back, so this works out. Audino goes down, and they are going to go for Play Rough into the Snorlax, okay? And now we get to go out into our Ninetales. We click Blizzard into this position, and that should seal the victory here. Because Blizzard high horsepower will KO the Mimikyu. We also have Thick Fat Snorlax, so this Charizard with no Sun, I don't think can do that much damage to Snorlax. Maybe if it has Air Slash, but I don't think that KOs, so we'll go for Blizzard high horsepower. What would they need to even win? They would probably need, because they can't Trick Room, because the Ninetales is faster than the Charizard, but the Snorlax is faster than Charizard if Trick Room is up. So Trick Room's not even an option. Mimikyu needs to like, I don't even know if they have an option. And they're not even going to protect Charizard because I think they kind of realize, yeah, this is probably over. They don't have anything that they can do here. So we will get the Blizzard off, and we will see the Play Rough come out in the Snorlax, and Snorlax actually took that a little bit worse than I thought, but high horsepower is able to take the knockout into Mimikyu, and that will be game. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Definitely will take that, I suppose. What a game. I cannot believe what happened. Alright, we have Sneasler, Eternal Floette, the Pelipper, Basculegion, Archaludon, and Scovillain. Oh boy, alright. So we got two potential Megas, the Scovillain and the Eternal Floette. This is... Rain is not fun for this team. I mean, we do have our Ninetales, but Arch is always a concerning mon. Also, they do have a Scovillain, which just burns me, which is not fun. Alright. So, I don't know if I'm bringing Aegislash here. It's like, okay. I mean, Aegislash is pretty good against my opponent's team in general. It hits pretty hard against a lot of my opponent's potential mons. Is it better than Sneasler, though? Because I think I want to bring Ninetales. I guess if I ignore the Archaludon, and curse up with the lax. I guess the Archalon's beatable. The question is, can I remove the Scovillain quickly enough? I think they bring Scovillain, but if they bring the Eternal Fluid, I guess it makes it easier. I'm just gonna go with Audino plus Sneasler as the lead, and then bring Snorlax and Ninetales in the back, because have Ninetales for the weather. Snorlax can't really lead immediately against this team, I feel. I take too much damage. So I think this is the best angle. Como could maybe do something, but I just don't know if they bring Flood or if they bring Scovillain. Because if they bring Scovillain, then I should bring Como. But if they bring Flood, then I'm just like, Como is a useless win con because it can't really do much against my opponent's team. So let's see what happens. Archalon Basket Legion, okay. Good lead for me, I think. Yeah, good lead for me. This is probably Pelipper plus Wave Crash and a Sneasler. I think so. I'm just gonna Trick Room and I'm gonna close combat the Arch immediately. If I can get as much damage in the Arch as possible. If they decide, hey, not to. Oh, they flip turn so they get the stamina proc immediately. Smart, okay. But I don't mind that because I'm getting a pretty powerful close combat off. Unfortunately, the speed order is not gonna work out for me. But you know what? I don't mind this. Because Pelipper in, I get a huge close combat off in the Arch. Yeah, that's still actually really good damage. Like, the Arch is really weak now at this point. Okay. What did they click? Electroshot or Flash Cannon? Electroshot into Sneasler, I want to say? Or is this the Audino? Did they respect the Audino? I don't know. They targeted... it's always... Okay, they did target Audino. Okay. And Trick Room goes up. I'm curious on what their next move is here. I think my best play is just to go Ninetales. Even if they Flash Can, it's acceptable. I don't think I live Hurricane with the Sneasler, but... Because I don't think Dazzling Gleam is getting the Archalon. Actually, I do have a play of just Calm Minding, swapping to Ninetales here, and I think that's actually my best play here. The reason I think that's my best play is because I don't know if they're going to Electroshot again, or if they Flash Cannon a slot this time around, they could protect as well, but I don't think they're going to protect. They're probably going to go on the offense, but I don't think they can knock out Audino with a Calm Mind after the snow is set up. So here is the Calm Mind with the Audino. I also want to make sure I avoid taking a huge amount of damage here. Okay, they Weather Ball, which is fine. As long as they didn't Flash. Wait, did they ignore the Sneasler? Or did they Electroshot? Oh, they Electroshot attempted the... I assume this was an attempt into the... What's it called? The Sneasler. So this works out pretty well because now I can threaten actually some pretty decent damage with Dazzling Gleam. Hopefully could KO the Arch, maybe? And we're gonna Blizzard. Because here's the thing, they have to double into Ninetales to take the knockout. I don't even know, they would have to risk Hurricane as well into Ninetales, so it's not like the most reliable win con. And Dazzling Gleam here will get good damage into this Arch to put in a 2-shot range. Just don't have Wide Guard on the Pelipper. I don't think it should be Wide Guard, but we'll see. No, this is so bad matchup-wise for me. Okay, it's Dazzling Gleam. How do I beat this? How do I beat this Wide Guard with this team? Electroshot, it did target Sneasler. If I went for the swap into Audino and close combat to the Arch, they lost. For it. Well, what's my out here? Hope that they don't have Flash Cannon. I think that's kind of unlikely here. I guess maybe that's my win con though. I think I go for a Life Dew, and I think I go for Aurora Veil. As they Wide Guard, maybe Flash Can my Audino. Oh, wait, they protect. Did they actually not have Flash Can? I'm guessing they don't have Flash Can, or they're scouting for an attack from the Audino that could put on pressure against it. Okay, wait, hold on. Maybe we have something. They Hurricane. Outside of rain. Okay, we get Aurora Veil off. Can we tank these attacks? Maybe. What a weird position we're in. Okay, I think they're gonna wide guard now. Last turn, Trick Room. I'm gonna try to get Sneasler in. I think I go into Sneasler and I go for the Life Dew to heal my Audino and hope that Sneasler can tank an attack with the Aurora Veil up. Yeah, they wide guard. That's not surprising. What is your attack on this Archalon? We saw Protect. It might be Aura Spear. Some of the Archalons run Aura Spear for like Tyranitar teams. So they might not be able to hit Audino as hard as like I initially expected. No, they have Flash Cannon. I don't know why they didn't go for it earlier, but okay. Alright. Audino eats. Leftovers. I think I live Hurricane with Sneasler after Aurora Veil. My best play is just to Life Dew again with Audino and just attempt a close combat into the Arch. It's +2 now, but I'm hoping close combat can KO. If they protect, I mean, like, Dire Claw and the Pelipper, unless I get a sleep, doesn't really change much. Yeah, close combat. Ooh, wait, that's a juicy KO. But does that save me? I don't know. They did go for the Hurricane. I will survive, yep. And we get a Life Dew. Wait, that's kind of massive, actually. I guess the question is, will I live the Bask attack? Oh, I have a interesting play I could go for this upcoming turn. Okay, Bask is probably coming in. Although, wait. It's Scarf. I do have Veil up. I probably live Wave Crash. I don't think I lived a double from Pelipper, though. I think my best play is just to go for a Trick Room attempt, I suppose, with Audino. And probably just to go for a Dire Claw into the Pelipper and get a status. I think that's like my best out. Because here's the thing. If they ignore the Audino with one of their slots, I get Trick Room up, I'm in a great spot. I'm in a great spot. They go for the Wave Crash. I should live with Veil. Wait, I might live the Hurricane too. I have +2 Spadef. Wait. That did a bit less than I thought, even with the Veil. Ooh, that's a nice poison, actually, because that poison damage will add up over time. They went for Hurricane and Sneasler. They're ignoring the Audino. They don't respect Audino. Oh my goodness, wait. I get a free Trick Room up with Audino. I guess we still don't know what their back Pokemon is, but that poison's nice. That poison's really nice. We get to go into Snorlax now and we can curse up. We can just yell at them. We can yell at them. We can yell at them, go for Life Dew, heal my Audino, and go for Curse, because this covers Wide Guard, but this also, like, just is pretty safe for me to set up. There's no really big punish here. Because I still have Veil turns. If they Wide Guard, I get a dead turn where I could lose Audino. I think if I Life Dew, I'm out of Wave Crash plus Hurricane range. They attack, that's fine. Our Snorlax is beefing up. We get the Life Dew. Hurricane. That did nothing. That did legitimately nothing. Yeah, we lived a double up. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is Citrus Berry Pelipper. Yeah, okay. It's Citrus Berry Pelipper. That makes sense. Veil wears off. So I won't live the combo now, unfortunately. But a Life Dew plus a Double Edge is pretty safe into the Pelipper slot. I feel like they could swap out Pelipper, but if they swap out Pelipper, something's going down to the double. I think it goes down to Double Edge plus Dazzling Gleam. Unless maybe it's Scovillain. And they Wide Guard, that's fine. I guess I could have Life Dew so I got more recovery with the Snorlax, but also like a little bit more damage to Basket Legion because of the recoil. But granted, I still think this is an ideal position. Okay, Dazzling Gleam. And Wave Crash. I think this really comes down to the last Pokemon. And I mean really comes down to the last. Like, who do I think is the last? Sneasler, Scovillain, or Floette? If it's Scovillain, do I lose? Maybe. I mean, my best play is just to protect with my Ninetales and probably go for a curse. Or is it to high horsepower? I could also high horsepower to Bask. So I can high horsepower twice. I feel like it's curse up. I don't need Veil to win. It really just depends on the back. I just don't know because all of them are legitimately fine against my team. We get the curse up. They're probably doubling up the Snorlax, I assume. Or they Hurricane the Ninetales. They Hurricane the Ninetales. Yeah, okay. And Wave Crash Relax, that's fine. Yeah, because I do have +2 defense. I should tank it. Wow, I took that worse than I thought, actually. Okay. I'm not taking the attacks as well as I would have liked. Granted, it's not like they can continue spamming Wave Crash forever. What's the last Pokemon? If it's Scovillain, I'm not liking the looks of this. Floette. Do I OHKO that with Double Edge? I mean, my best play is always to Aurora Veil here with my team and just Double Edge the Floette slot. Light of Ruin plus Wave Crash is going to be very concerning, but I think it just comes down to this Floette lift to Double Edge. Are you bulky Floette? I feel like on a Rain team, I don't know. Because they have no speed control, so it might be bulky Floette. We'll find out. But this is like my only chance to get Aurora Veil up anyway. So the curse play was correct. I actually needed the curse so I can even have a chance to KO Floette. Alright. No protect. Double Edge. Oh, just barely missing a knockout. Gleam takes a knockout on both. Yeah, it's game. Oh, I needed Snorlax to KO the Floette. If I KO the Floette, I win probably with Veil up. Because the Floette wouldn't have KO'd the Ninetales. I wouldn't have taken the Gleam damage. Snorlax would have been healthy. That's kind of the thing about like the Snorlax that doesn't have any attack investments. It needs multiple curses to get KOs, and unfortunately we weren't able to. Dang. Close one. But I tried. It still was pretty rough, I think, no matter what I was doing. Alright, we have King Gambit with Serena, Garchomp, Delphox, Whimsicott, and the Basket Legion. This is going to be kind of a tough one because Encore Whimsicott's really tough for me to actually deal with in general. Okay. I can get Trick Room up ideally, but just messing around with that Whimsicott going to be a concern. Is this a game where I finally bring the Aegislash? I might. I think it is. Como is also decent here. Do I need Ninetales? I guess I don't need Veil up again in this game. Probably not, actually. I think my lead here is going to be Audino plus... I actually want to say it's Aegislash, because I can threaten the King Gambit close combat. Yeah, I think that this is an okay lead. I don't want to lead Como against potential Garchomp Delphox lead. I don't think I need to lead Lax. I can't really lead Lax here because I need some pressure against the Whimsicott immediately. So let's go for this. The Whimsicott is always the most annoying Pokemon because Encore on this kind of slow-paced setup team is really devastating because I'm forced to keep switching around. So I need to be able to actually break through it. We're going to see Delphox, Whimsicott. Okay. Versus Aegislash and Audino. I can go for a Trick Room with Audino. I think I'm not going to Mega Evolve. Even though I get a little bit of bulk, I don't think I need to. As long as this isn't Sunny Day Whimsicott, I should be good. And I don't think it is. I'm going to Trick Room, and I'm going to go for a Poltergeist into the Whimsicott. Because I should live a Heat Wave from the Delphox. Delphox Mega Evolves. Okay. And what are you doing with your flamethrower? Does that KO? Okay, it doesn't. I didn't think it did. And they go for Moonblast. Does that KO double up wise? That's close. Aegis Slash, such a good mod. Okay, that's really good. Surviving that's massive. I am able to get to the, hopefully Poltergeist into Whimsicott, because I do need to try and get rid of this. It is Sash. Okay, good to know. KOs the Whims. Beautiful. And now I have a few different play options that I have here. I think I'm going to go for Calm Mind plus Shadow Sneak. Yeah, I'm going to go for Calm Mind plus Shadow Sneak. It covers the Encore play from Whimsicott because the speed order is reversed. Aegis Slash goes before the Prankster Whimsicott. And I'm not really concerned about Delphox at the current moment, and it's very likely it just protects here. So I'm going to go for Calm Mind and Shadow Sneak. I'm not Mega Evolving just because I'm playing around the King Gambit potential of Iron Head in the back. I think they do have to attempt to Encore with Whimsicott. The question is, the Delphox moving? Yeah, it protects. So this was the best call out that I could have done here, and I did get to play right. So I do get to the Shadow Sneak off into the Whimsicott to take the knockout, which is good. And now let's see the next Pokemon that's going to be sent out. So Calm Mind from Audino, which means we'll tank the Delphox attacks really well. So this is a really great start. If I can get Shadow Sneak damage into the Delphox, that'd be amazing. Because every bit of chip in the Delphox makes it just easier for me to break through it, so Como can potentially win the game. Because we got rid of the Fairy type. Garchomp it. Wait, I could Poltergeist the Delphox. What? I'm guessing this is King Gambit back. I'm like pretty confident it's King Gambit back. I think I'm okay with going with aggressive play too, because this board doesn't really threaten me too much. I'm going to go for Sacred Sword plus Dazzling Gleam. I don't, yeah, this was like way, oh, Serena. Wasn't expecting Serena back. They didn't bring Gambit. Okay. I got a Poltergeist at that slot, but I guess that's fine. That means Garchomp has to attack here, most likely. So I could have doubled up the Garchomp, but I guess this is acceptable. Yeah. Alright, this is still fine. We get a big Dazzling Gleam off, which two shots to Garchomp. The Sacred Sword will put the Serena probably in range of a Dazzling Gleam, unless it's Citrus. And even if it's Citrus, I can double it up the next turn, so that's okay. They go for Earthquake into their own Serena, and the Audino is just tanking the attack really well. Beautiful. Now I actually now I can just go for Dazzling Gleam, and I can go for, I could set up a Como, or I could go into Snorlax. I think I just go Snorlax and start cursing. Like, what else do I do here? There's not really anything I really have to. I guess Garchomp could switch out into Delphox, and I could try to punish it. I really don't think I need to though, because a curse will just get my Snorlax boosted defense-wise. So even once Trigger runs out, it's looking really tough for my opponent to stop this. So I'm pretty happy about this turn. Yeah, they do swap out. I could punish it, but I don't really have a reason to. Because I don't even KO the Delphox, I think, afterward. And they didn't protect Serena, so the Serena might not have protect, so I should get the Serena here. And the curse is still pretty good for me. As we get the Dazzle. Oh, I didn't KO Serena, but that's still fine. What did they click? Low kick, okay. With the defense boost, I am tanking it pretty well. Now I can go for like Life Dew plus the Double Edge into the Delphox, which is pretty reasonable. How many turns of Trick on my left? Last turn. It could be Encore Delphox. Do I care if it's Encore Delphox? Not really. Actually, I don't think I need to heal. I think I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam plus Double Edge into the Delphox slot. They protect Serena. I'm assuming this is double protect. Do you have Taunt on the Serena, I guess, is a question. The reason I didn't go for Life Dew here is that I'm worried about like Encore from the Delphox into the Audino, so that's why I went for Gleam, because I don't think they can actually knock out Audino with a combination of Flamethrower plus an attack from the Serena. Psychic could KO the Snorlax, though. Psychic Low Kick might? It's a Snorlax. And if that does KO, that's kind of bad, though. Do I think if the Serena has Power Whip, they can knock out Audino at +1? I kind kind of doubt it. I'm going to protect, go for a Trick Room. Because they might double into Snorlax. Okay, no, they doubled into Audino. I think I let Power Whip from there, even if that is Power Whip. Oh, they have Taunt. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't lead Taunt Serena against me then, but alright. Oh. Man. This is still okay, though. This is still okay. It's not as ideal, though. Because if I got Double Edge off into Delphox, that was massive. Okay. I can't get Encored into the Trick Room. They go for Encore into Lax. That's okay-ish. We'll fail the double, okay. They go for Low Kick into Audino. It's gonna come down really close. Oh man, I had such a good start and I missed the KO on the Gleam of Serena and then I didn't. Yeah, it was actually Encore Delphox, which I actually did think it was a possibility. But I was like, if they had Taunt Serena, I thought they were just gonna lead it immediately. So I was like, Guard Chomp in. How many times of Encore is it? 2. I'm gonna double up my Audino with Psychic, Earthquake. Snorlax will eat. This is also a problem with Como because the Como's not able to outspeed Delphox immediately. We always go for Dazzling Gleam here. I don't think I can really. I have to stay in with Snorlax. I have to stay in with Snorlax. The reason I have to stay in with Snorlax is because of the fact that I had to stay in with Snorlax just because of the threat of losing the attack boost because it's like my only way to break through the Delphox at this rate. They go for Earthquake, okay. So Audino's going down here. And then we get to bring out the Como. So we know it's not Scarf Garchomp either, because the Garchomp moved after the Delphox. I don't think Como's living Psychic from Delphox. My best play is just to go for Protects. I wish I was faster than Delphox. This is the frustrating part. I wish I was faster than Delphox. If I was faster than Delphox, I actually have a decent chance. I mean, I'm going to still play for my out. The reason I go for Protect with Como is because this is Snorlax's last turn of Encore, which means they have to respect the Snorlax the next turn. If I Double Edge KO the Delphox, I think there's a chance. Unless they make a wild play and double up the Snorlax, but even then, I might still have an okay spot. Yeah, they Psychic the Como because they don't want Clanger Soul to ever come out. And they Dragon Claw as well. Okay. So Snorlax didn't take any damage, and now I threaten Double Edge, and I can go for Clang Scales. They can't deny both my Pokemon here. So I get an attack off no matter what, because Delphox either Psychics the Como, Snorlax gets a Double Edge then, or they go for a Encore and a Snorlax, which means I get Clang Scales to hopefully knock out the Garchomp, and then I can maybe beat the Delphox in the end game if I get a bit lucky with Protects. So they Encore lock my Lax, okay. I wish I was faster than the Delphox because I would just be able to go for Clanger Soul and then Clang Scales, and then I'd be in a really great spot, but I can't do that unfortunately. Dragon Claw shouldn't KO the Como. Yep. Heals with Citrus. Unfortunately, I am slower here. Okay. I did get the damage. Okay. So we need to protect with Como and we need to protect with Snorlax. Actually, this 3 PowerPoint thing on Snorlax might be the savior because they nerf Protect's PowerPoints, so I can't get Encored into Protect anymore, actually. Wait, hold on. That's huge. Be able to protect here. Do they psychic the Snorlax? No, they psychic the Como. How many turns am I locked in? Last turn. If I get a double with Como, I instant win. And even if I don't, I might actually just instant win as well. Because they can't encore my Snorlax into the protect anymore. So this protect PowerPoint nerf is actually so huge. Wait, can they go for timer? This game's been going... No, there's no way they can go for timer. Okay, protect fails. They go for a psychic. I'm assuming the Como. Take the knockout because it's the only thing that can threaten the Delphox on this turn. Yep. And now Snorlax's protect or encore is about to end. They're going to encore again, but it doesn't matter because this is my last protect PowerPoint, which means afterward the encore is going to release from the Snorlax, which means I can lock into any other move and win. Oh my goodness, this was a bit too close for comfort. This was a bit too close for comfort, man. They go for encore. I'm forced to use my last protect on the Snorlax, but it fails. And now my encore has ended. We can go for a double edge and take the knockout into Delphox because crit psychic doesn't knock out. I think they have to go for flamethrower burn into Snorlax with crit and then psychic crit. I think that's like the only way because they don't live a double edge. Okay, I kind of messed up this game. I do. I should have thought I could KO the Serena or maybe punish the Delphox earlier by going for the double edge earlier. But I thought if they were taunt Serena, they would have let it. So I was not expecting the mid-game taunt. But you know what? We played to our best outs, and we got everything that we needed to. They had to respect the Snorlax. Snorlax was able to still clean up in the end, though. Alright, we have Charizard, Kangaskhan, Primarina, Basculegion, Farigiraf, and Torkoal. So we got a Sunroom team. Okay. The Kangaskhan's actually kind of annoying because I don't damage it quickly. I do like Aegislash though. Aegislash is actually pretty good here. Besides the Charizard, it's good here. Trust. Trust. It seems scuffed, but it actually works. I don't know if they're bringing Charizard or if they're bringing Kangaskhan. Because I could see either or. I think they're more likely probably to bring the Charizard now that I think about it. But I think lead-wise, I think it's Audino. Who am I leading? I don't like Como because there's a Primarina. There's not really a great lead into Charizard. That's kind of one issue that I have is there's like no good lead into Charizard. Is it just Snorlax? I think it's Snorlax Audino with Ninetales plus Aegislash. I don't even like the Snorlax lead generally, but it's like I want to bring Aegislash in case they have Kang and they lead Kang. I don't want to lead Sneasler because I'm slower than like the Charizard. And then also like it gets threatened by the Farigiraf immediately for Psychic. So I don't think it's a good trade anyway. We'll find out what happens here. I think Aegislash is pretty good offensively against my opponent's team if I position it well, but I don't need it. I specifically just want to set up Snorlax ideally without taking too much damage. Okay, they did bring Kangaskhan. We don't know if it's Mega, I guess. It could be like the Silk Scarf Last Respect combo, I guess, but that's all right. How much damage are we taking, I guess is the question. I think my play is just to Life Dew, not Mega Evolve, and go for Curse. If they go for Fake Out, that's fine. It is Mega Kangaskhan, so it is not Mega Charizard. So no Mega Charizard that I have to worry about this match? Cool. I don't think Helping Hand, Low Kick, or Double Edge gets me, but we'll see, because Kangaskhan's really weak. They did Low Kick, okay. They crit me. Guess he was in a good spot. Guess he was in a good spot afterward, because guess who couldn't protect Life Dew the next turn? Because we saw, because it crit me, turn 1, Low Kick does not knock out the Snorlax, because the baby does 25% of the initial Mama hit, and then I would have had Snorlax at +1 defense around half. I could probably live the next one. They probably have to go for Helping Hand. Then I could go for Life Dew, protect, heal, be in a fine spot. My goodness, man, this game sometimes. I do not legitimately think I can even win this. I legitimately do not think I can even win this. I'll try, but maybe Calm Mind Audino could win, but it's super unlikely, I imagine. I'm gonna go Ninetales and see what they decide to do here. They double edge. Are they gonna Trick Room or are they gonna Psychic again? Stance change, Sacred Sword. Okay, they do Trick Room. I guess I'm gonna keep the Ninetales around, go to Audino. I have no idea if they're gonna threaten the Sucker Punch and the Aegis Slash. I'm just gonna go for King Shield. I think this is Psychic in the Ninetales and Sucker Punch, or they hard switch the Kangaskhan and the Torkoal, which is also fine. Yeah. I can still maybe theoretically win. I have to Mega Evolve now. Yeah. I wish I Poltergeist. Maybe I need to play more aggressive. Maybe I played too safe. I think I should have Poltergeisted the Torkoal incoming because I had a feeling that they could definitely switch on the Torkoal. But this could be foul play from the Farigiraf as well. No, it's Psychic. Okay. And they crit me again. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. Some games are just like that. Some games it's like they are like, you want to play the game? Nope. But we'll try one more. We'll try one more with this team. But yeah, that's my luck sometimes. Is this the first opponent that we played? I'm double checking. No, it's similar, but Corviknight. Okay, it depends on the Corviknight set. If it's not bulk up Roost, we're fine. If it's bulk up Roost, we're not fine. That's basically what it comes down to. And they have a Charizard, which I don't think they had a Charizard last time, so... I don't know. What am I thinking here? They also have Instant, so it makes the setup mode even worse. I think I'm just gonna lead off with Snorlax plus Sneasler this time. I'm gonna try it out. I don't think they're gonna lead Garchomp when they have more offensive tools. Bring Ninetales back to change the weather. Have Audino on the back so I can heal. Como doesn't do anything to the Corviknight, and the Aegis Slash does. I mean, it has Sacred Sword, but the thing is, the Corviknight just always is still really annoying to deal with. And then there's also Zard and Instant. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure their optimal decision is probably to bring Charizard, Corviknight, Instant, Sinistcha, and I'm gonna have a really, really rough time because even Snorlax can't even break through the Sinistcha. This is so bad. We'll try it though. We'll try it. Charizard, Corviknight, that's not surprising to me, versus Sneasler, Snorlax. Okay, I'm gonna go for a curse immediately with my... I wish I had Fake Out here. Fake Out would actually be kind of nice. I think I'm just gonna go for maximum damage into the Corviknight with close combat plus a curse. Because I live a Heat Wave from Charizard. They don't Mega. Are they going for Air Slash immediately? Is that a crit in the Corv? Okay. What did they do? I think this has to be Air Slash. Does this KO since it didn't Mega Evolve? No, they did Heat Wave. And Brave Bird? Because the Brave Bird recoil would knock out. They Iron Head. I lived that. Okay. Wait. That is huge. That is huge. Because now the Corviknight is in range of close combat. If it doesn't protect, it has to switch out. Although, even then, like, close combat would have still two-shotted. But, I mean, it's in Ninetales range. So that's good for me. Why are their backs? Well, Sinish is not a concern. I think I just double-edged the Charizard. And I go for... Do I coaching here? Like, the Corviknight, I think, switches out to Sinistcha. Like, I think it's super safe. I'd be shocked if they stay in. I gotta go for a Dire Claw as well. I want a Dire Claw plus go for the double edge here. They do retreat to Corviknight, which is to be expected because that mon is really good into me. Incineroar comes in, yeah. So I could have coaching again, but this is fine. I still get some decent damage off in the Charizard, unless it protects. Doesn't protect, doesn't Mega Evolve. Dire Claw gets a poison. All right, we're talking about a bit of a lucky game after an unlucky game. I guess we balance that out. Here comes a Heat Wave. We tank it. Crit Snorlax, sure. Now we get a double edge off into the Charizard. Good damage. Okay, I don't know if they have Sinistcha back, but we're going into Audino here, and we're going to attempt a Trick Room. And I think we're going to curse up the blacks again. The problem is we could still lose to Corviknight, but then again, it's Ironhead Corviknight, so it might not have Bulk Up. Or it might not have Tailwind. It's one of the two. We're going to curse and we're going to Trick Room. Is there a reason never to not Mega Evolve? I mean, I could see myself switching out for Regenerator, and I don't think they could Flare Blitz Weather Ball, I guess, to Audino slot. I think it's probably better to actually Mega Evolve in Trick Room. The Regenerator I don't think is worth it. Yeah. They're gonna retreat Charizard into the Corvin? No, Floet. Wait, they brought Floet. They brought both Megas. I guess they thought regular Charizard was actually good enough too. Okay, wait, this works. This is fine. Alright, we Mega Evolve with Audino. This is probably fake on the Audino deny Trick Room. We get another curse up. Oh, they went Parting Shot. Okay. Into Corviknight, I guess. Which is fine. Yeah, they bring in Corv. My question is, does Double Edge plus the Dazzling Gleam KO afterward? Because if it does, we're actually in a nice position. So I'm glad I went for Curse to get my attack and defense back. And we're going to go for a Trick Room. Alright, the Corv. The Corv. Do you survive the Double Edge plus the Dazzling Gleam? I think you might double back into Instant, but that's fine if you do. Is it? Yeah, it is. We're gonna go for Double Edge plus Dazzling Gleam. Even like if Instant switches in, it still takes a decent hit. Because Dazzling Gleam Double Edge will do an okay amount of damage. And since they don't have Sinistcha, the recovery is limited. Yeah, they switch out Corv into Instant. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay. I wonder if I could Calm Mind with Audino to win. They go for Protect and not Mega Ball, so they don't have the Fairy Aura. That makes sense. We get the Double Edge into the Instant. Another crit. Okay. I feel bad for this guy. I do feel bad for this guy. Because this was me the last game. They had my experience the last game. Dazzling Gleam going to come out. Did alright damage to the Instant, you know? You know, it did some alright damage. I don't think Moonblast kills the Snorlax. They have to go for Light of Ruin, and if they go for Light of Ruin, that's acceptable. They take a lot of recoil. I'm going to high horsepower the Instant. It might take the knockout, and we're going to Calm Mind. Because we would like to take the flow at attacks a bit better. And also, the Dazzling Gleam afterward would probably threaten the KO on Instant afterward, so then we can bring out a pretty okay position. Oh, wait, they didn't fake out, so I get the KO on the Instant. That's really nice. Okay, so Instant goes down. They also didn't Mega Evolve the Floet, so I don't know what's going on here, as I get a Calm Mind. Do they think now it's a... But the Charizard's poisoned now, so I don't know. I guess they they were thinking Dazzling Gleam could threaten the KO, so they're Calm Minding. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Is it? The Floet's kind of dangerous. The Floet is dangerous. Ooh, this game is going to be really close, I think. because beating the Floette is going to be tough. Do I KO the Corviknight with Dazzling Gleam? I don't know. There's 2 turns of Trick Room left. I think I still go for Double Edge plus Dazzling Gleam into Corv. I'm +1 special attack, but it's a Corviknight. They could go into Charizard, which is fine. I just gotta make sure the Corv doesn't get a roost off. That's basically the goal here. That's basically the goal. Okay, they Mega with Floette. I'm curious how much damage this does. They gave me Fairy Aura. I wonder if Fairy Aura +1. I still don't think KO's Corviknight, man. Okay, they do stay in. I do get the Double Edge off. Take very minimum recoil, and then here is a Dazzling Gleam. Goodbye, Corviknight, and the Floette did actually take a bit. I crit the Corviknight, it doesn't matter. That one didn't matter. I'm fake. I'm pretty sure it did. Okay, they went for another Calm Mind. That makes sense. This upcoming turn is super interesting. So they're going to go Charizard. My best play is to Calm Mind with my Audino because they could double protect. Yeah, I think I always double edge as Charizard and I Calm Mind. I could double edge get the damage on Floette, but I don't think it's too much in the long run. I think after Calm Mind, I'll definitely live 2 Gleams from the Floette because we'll both be at neutral basically. And then if they target the Snorlax with Moonblast, I go down to it, but that's all right. I get a free Ninetales and I can click Aurora Veil, which is great. Okay. Snorlax takes very little. We get a Calm Mind up, so we're both at +2. Special attack and special defense. They do go for Dazzle. Snorlax eats. Okay. I'm gonna go for a double edge here into the Floette, and I'm gonna go for a... Did I go for another Calm Mind? I think I go for another Calm Mind, and then... This is still spooky. I could Trick Room here so I can always get the guaranteed double edge off into Floette. Actually, no. I think my best play here is actually to swap out Snorlax, because Snorlax is a -1 attack, right? Yeah, it's -1 attack. So my best play is to go Ninetales. Not Sneasel, Ninetales, because like Ninetales can Blizzard Freeze, I suppose, but it's not like doing anything else otherwise. I think we Calm Mind again with Audino, and then we can go for Aurora Veil, Trick Room the next turn. Oh, actually... Okay, wait, they Draining Kiss. Okay, wait, that actually works out for me. Okay. That's best case scenario for me, actually. Because I do get the Calm Mind with my Audino, and now we're kind of in a good spot against this Floette, I assume. I'm glad the Calm Mind's working out. The question is, how much am I taking? But we will Aurora Veil here 100%, and we're going to Calm Mind again, since I don't need to Life Dew now. It might be a Calm Mind War stack, but the thing is I can always Psyshock the Floette. There's a lot of reads in the potential turns, but I think I'm fine. Aurora Veil is going to go up. I don't think they can Calm Mind either because they might be worried about Encore Ninetales, so they might go for the KO with Draining Kiss. Okay, they're just risking me not being Encore Ninetales, which is fair. They're kind of down. They kind of need to have something here. It could always come down to a crit though, which is the scary part. So we'll Calm Mind up with our Audino, and now we have Veil. They're probably going to stall out some turns. I'm going to go for Psyshock into the Floette because it's the most damage that we have, and I'm going to... How much is the Audino at? +4 versus +3, then they get recovery. I still think we Calm Mind again. So it's not Moonblast, which is good info. We do get a Psyshock off into the Floette. Okay, we are going to stack Calm Minds here. Which is acceptable. Okay, the question is there's one turn where I'm probably going to go out into Lax so I can threaten Double Edge and attempt Trick Room, and I think that's the best play. I think we do that now if any play. This is still spooky. This is still spooky. I think they're going to call Mind Stall until the Aurora Veil wears off. I think that's what they're aiming for. So I can keep Ninetales for a potential Aurora Veil, but do they Dazzling Gleam this turn? Okay, yeah, they call Mind again. Perfect. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. As we get Trick Room up. Now we go for a Dazzling Gleam and a Protect with Snorlax. Because they have to worry about double edge damage here. They could protect the Floette, but are they going to do that and let my Audino potentially set up more Calm Minds? I don't know. So it's kind of a read on their part that they have to get right, and Audino's still in a super safe spot here. So I'll go for Dazzling Gleam, get more chip, and then I'll go for a double edge Dazzle, and hopefully that's enough into the Floette. What's nice is at least with double edge recoil, I'm actually doing more damage to the Floette, but we'll see. Okay, Dazzling Gleam, no protect. Good damage, actually. They did Dazzle and not Draining Kiss. Wait, that's huge. They don't get recovery. Audino ate that up. Snow stops. Leftovers. 3 turns of Trick Room, so they would need a triple protect. I think Double Edge plus Dazzling Gleam should get this. I don't know. I could be super overestimating Lax here and underestimating Flood because Draining Kiss is probably bulky. Double Edge. Okay, no, I should get that. Oh, okay. I cannot believe I broke through the Corviknight Charizard team with Floette. You know, some RNG happens, like the last one and then this one. Because if we didn't crit that Corviknight, we were not put into a great spot. But you know, that's sometimes what you need to do against a Corviknight when you have like no way to break through that Mon. That Mon is a monster. So how was the team? It was usable. I'm just going to say this. It is usable. But Mega Audino, I can't lie. The bulk was actually really good. It was able to tank attacks, but there is a reason why it's not the greatest Mega Evolution because a lot of it is very passive. It kind of sits there, can go for the life too. It gets like several other moves too, like Encore, Heal Pulse. It's actually not bad for a support Mega Evolution. However, yeah, it is very vulnerable. It doesn't do that much damage itself. So it can be a bit of a liability there. I do think it is a pretty cool mod. Like I even forget it has an ability like Healer that actually does something. And Healer is actually more than I remembered because it's 50% chance to cure the ally status every turn, which is nice against Scovillain team. So it actually does have a Scovillain matchup. But overall, is it the greatest mod? I don't think so. And as you could see, we did struggle quite a bit. Rain was a bit problematic. We also did very much struggle in the Corviknights in general. And of course, bad RNG can just screw over this team. So definitely the cost of using like a really slow paced team that doesn't have that much offensive pressure immediately. However, it was a fun team to try out. If you'd like to try it out yourself, you do have the replica code right here if you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, again down in the description. And why not check out some of the other videos that we do have on the channel featuring some of the new Mega Evolutions. For instance, you can go check out the recent video that we did showcase, for instance, the Mega Victory Bell, which was a really cool team that I designed, and we got to high ladder champions with over like